Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video on the Gooners and Gloves Podcast channel. In today's video, it's going to be the 93rd Gooners and Gloves Podcast, and I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts and reactions to Arsenal officially announcing the signing of Noni Madueke. We have signed Noni Madueke from Chelsea. Arsenal have made it official as of today. It's a deal that's worth around £48 million up front with about £4 million worth of add-ons, so it's another signing from Chelsea. Of course, we've been going to Chelsea quite a lot the last few years. Obviously, we signed Kepa a few weeks ago, and now here we are signing Noni Madueke from Chelsea. So I'm just going to be giving you guys my thoughts and reactions now that, of course, Arsenal have announced it. It's our fourth announcement of the window, and it's expected to be a very busy week of announcements with both Christian Mosquera and Victor Gyökeres later on this week. So obviously massive stuff coming up there. But for now, let's focus on Noni Madueke. He completed his medical this weekend, and I think Monday, and not only that, but he was also announced that Here We Go was last Thursday, and then over the weekend and on Monday he completed the medical. But now here he is as an Arsenal player, and yeah, just going to give you guys my thoughts and reactions to the transfer. Honestly, I don't remember the last time an Arsenal signing was this divisive among the fan base. Obviously, a lot of division in the fan base, and a lot of people have shared their opinions on this transfer. Very split opinions among the fan base, but I just want to give you guys my genuine opinion on the signing. I want to, ultimately speaking, I feel like I'm a lot more positive towards the signing than other people are, definitely, and I'm not saying that it's not entirely to do with criticism. I do think the price is too high. However, it is important to remember that Noni Madueke has no fault in what the price was. That isn't his fault. Ultimately, Arsenal themselves chose to put that bid in, so it's important to remember that. So, ultimately speaking, I'm actually quite positive towards the signing, and I think he honestly is going to add a lot to Arsenal, and I'm genuinely really looking forward to seeing Noni Madueke playing for Arsenal. Yes, I'm against the price. I do think the price was too high, but that's a criticism of Arsenal themselves, not Noni Madueke, because ultimately Noni Madueke has no fault in the price. But anyway, let's go on and get into the video. So Arsenal signed Noni Madueke from Chelsea. So here we go. Let's go ahead and get into the video. So first of all, obviously Noni Madueke provides brilliant Bukayo Saka backup. We've obviously needed Bukayo Saka backup for a long time now. We know, obviously, we saw last season the effects of Bukayo Saka being overworked, unfortunately resulting in quite a severe hamstring tear that kept him out for months and ultimately completely derailed his momentum. And obviously he's still trying to get back to full fitness from that injury, and ultimately that's always been due to lack of a backup. I know we've got Ethan Nwaneri. However, Ethan Nwaneri, has clearly always preferred the midfield, and in my opinion, it does seem like he'd probably, be better off being sort of an understudy to Martin Odegaard in that attacking 8 position. That's where he's always preferred playing, and it's very clear that that's where Arsenal sees him. So, I just think it makes a lot of sense for us to have gotten a Bukayo Saka backup. And to be fair, Noni Madueke also has versatility. He can play on the left as well, and I think that's the key thing with Mikel Arteta, because it does sound like it's Mikel Arteta who really pushed for this deal to happen. Noni Madueke, of course, with really good versatility. He can play on the left and the right, so not only does he provide very good Bukayo Saka backup, but you can also play him on the left as well. So he's just very versatile and offers us a great option on the wing. But yeah, the first key point is that he's a great backup to Bukayo Saka. Obviously, Bukayo Saka has needed a backup for so long now, and we have honestly one of the best options available on the market in terms of Bukayo Saka backup. Obviously, Noni Madueke, very talented, great dribbler, really good ball carrier. His ball carrying is especially really good. He's obviously a solid dribbler, good passing. He's just a very solid player who I think will really add a lot to the team. And in my opinion, Mikel Arteta could really unlock him. He hasn't had necessarily like the craziest tenure at Chelsea. Obviously still successful. He did win the Conference League, and I think officially he is still considered as having won the Club World Cup as well. So certainly a solid tenure at Chelsea, but it's very clear that, he decided that he wanted to move on and, go to a different club, and Arsenal are ultimately the destination that he has arrived at. So yeah, I think that's the first key point about the Noni Madueke signing. I'm really happy that we're now going to have a really good option for Bukayo Saka backup, and ultimately that's just awesome. Obviously, Noni Madueke is really solid on the right. That's ultimately where he prefers playing. He's very solid on the right, really does very well. However, as I mentioned before, he's not only going to be a Saka backup, he's got great versatility and can also play on the left. So I do think he'll probably be played on the left as well. But ultimately, I think, at least I would imagine, that it's more a case of Bukayo Saka backup. But ultimately, obviously, Saka and Madueke are quite good friends from the England national team. We've seen them hanging out together. They do seem like they get on really well, and in my opinion, they'll make a great partnership in that right wing position. So that's the first key reason why I'm happy with the signing. I think that Noni Madueke just offers a really good option on the right, gives us more depth, and ultimately acts as a brilliant backup for Bukayo Saka. So that's the first key point about the signing that I'm really happy about, is that he offers brilliant backup for Bukayo Saka. The second point that I'm actually really happy is, obviously, as I said before, his versatility. He can play on both the left and the right, and ultimately it's always nice to have versatile players, and it's clear that Mikel Arteta views him as very versatile. Obviously, he can play on both the left and the right, so it's just a great option that we know we can kind of play on whichever side, and we know we've got a solid winger with, you know, plenty of experience, not plenty of experience, but like plenty of potential, you know. And I'm not gonna lie, it's not been entirely realized yet. Of course, we can't say that Noni Madueke's potential has been entirely realized, but I just think the Arsenal projects give him such a good opportunity to really realize his potential, because he is talented. We have to be honest, like, he is a good player, he is talented, he is where he is for a reason. He's played at multiple London clubs. Like, he is, you know, he's no scrub or anything. He's not a scrub by any means. He's a very solid player, and he definitely, you know, has talent. And in my opinion, I just think that Arsenal will really be able to unlock that talent into the next level. So yeah, that's the other reason. I think he's versatile. His versatility definitely makes him a great addition to the squad. Next is that obviously he's really young. He's only 23 years old. He's got so much time ahead of him. You know, this is a very good future investment. Obviously, we've got a 5-year contract till June 2030, so plenty of time for us to develop him. You know, he'll be about 28 by the time the contract ends, so plenty of potential, loads, and just a very high ceiling as well. We know that, as I said before, he's talented, he's got good skills, and yeah, he's just got a huge ceiling. You know, only 23 years old, so young, still developing. Obviously has won a couple of trophies, which is going to be nice. It's obviously always nice to bring in a player who has won trophies and can obviously instill that mentality into the squad, so that's always certainly a great thing. And not only that, but he was also instrumental to that Europa Conference League campaign. He was absolutely instrumental to it, and say whatever you want about the Europa Conference League, ultimately it's still a trophy, it's still Europe, it's still pressure, and that's something that Noni Madueke has been able to experience. Not only that, but he's also been very solid for England. You know, he hasn't been with England for too long, but he's definitely made an impact. Honestly, Thomas Tuchel very clearly sees something in him, because he's been very solid for England, in my opinion. You know, I've seen, you know, he's come on a few times, and I think he's looked honestly solid. And as we know, we've obviously seen the pictures of Bukayo Saka, Eberechi Eze, and also Noni Madueke all linking up in England. Hopefully we get that in Arsenal. It's honestly making me so excited just thinking about it. We've got two of them now, Saka and Madueke, so hopefully we complete the trio and we get Eberechi Eze as well. It's been such a busy window. There's so many videos I'm going to be making, but let's keep this video focused on Noni Madueke. So that's the next point. He's obviously very young, has a high ceiling, you know, only 23 years old, very athletic, very young, you know, certainly has his best years ahead of him. And in my opinion, that really is always nice to invest in a player that can really come good in, you know, across the next years to come. So yeah, those are kind of the main options. And then finally, it's just generally, he's a good dribbler, he's a good ball carrier. I think ball carrying is something that he's really good at, as I said, and that's important. You know, ball carrying is important, especially when we're playing those really low blocks. We did see last season how much we struggled against low blocks, and I do think Madueke has a really good ability to carry the ball and take shots. And this is actually one of the main things about Noni Madueke. He takes a lot of shots, and not only that, but something that's very crucial about Noni Madueke, which is a very key reason that I'm happy that we're signing him, that we have signed him, is he shoots from outside the box a lot. And that's something that we've always constantly criticized Arsenal players for, is for the most part just not shooting from outside the box. Well, Noni Madueke, I can guarantee you, will fix that issue, because Noni Madueke takes loads of shots from outside the box. He's not afraid to take shots from outside the box, and in my opinion, that's really good. So when we're up against a low block who's, you know, parking the bus and making it really difficult, you've got Noni Madueke, bring him on as an impact sub, comes in, starts taking shots from outside the box, starts unsettling the goalkeeper, other players start coming forward. So he just kind of has that confidence about him where he's got no problem shooting from distance, taking speculative efforts. And I understand they don't always go on target and they do sometimes go wide, but ultimately we just need that player who actually has the confidence to consistently shoot from outside the box and just make things happen. And I think that Noni Madueke definitely has that. We saw it at Chelsea. He scored some very solid goals from outside the box. He's had some really good crosses from outside the box. It's just something that I think is really good, is sort of his confidence and his determination to shoot from outside the box. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and is a very key reason why I'm actually genuinely happy that we're signing him at Arsenal, is of course that that determination and confidence level to shoot from outside the box, take the shot, whatever happens. But at the end of the day, it's something that we've definitely always criticized Arsenal for, and rightfully so, because a lot of our players don't shoot from outside the box. So it's really nice to have someone who does shoot from outside the box, and will hopefully encourage some of the other players to start shooting from outside the box a bit more. So those are the key things I like about Noni Madueke. He's young, he's athletic, he's got loads of potential, you know, maybe unrealized potential till now, but definitely potential that in my opinion we could really unlock. Obviously he's really good against low blocks. He's a good ball carrier, great backup for Bukayo Saka, has good versatility, is a good carrier of the ball. Like, honestly, I just think it's a solid signing from a player perspective. I think Noni Madueke is just a good player. Like, it's a shame to see how many people have been hating on him, and, you know, hopefully that stops. I mean, I just want to be clear, guys, I don't condone any of what I've heard. Obviously, the whole, like, starting a petition against him and defacing the murals and, you know, sending abuse to him and his family, I completely just, I'm absolutely against that. I don't for a second think, you know, I think that's disgraceful. I'm completely against it, and I just want to make that very clear. I completely, do not condone any of the hate that Noni Madueke has been receiving. And in fact, if this video, if anybody does comment any abuse towards Madueke or his family, I will be deleting the comment immediately, because end of the day, I don't want my channel to be, spreading negativity and spreading hate. Ultimately, that's not what I want. You're allowed to obviously comment your opinion on him as a player, of course, like, what you think of him as a player. But if anybody makes like the sort of personal comments about him and his family that I've been reading, they will just be immediately deleted and blocked, because I don't condone any of that. And I really, really do feel for Madueke, seeing people just completely hating on him. Like, he's somebody who's obviously just excited about a new project and a new club, and to see people just hating on him and, making petitions and sending him abuse is just disgusting, and I don't for a second approve of it. And, I really, really hope that you guys are against it as well. Ultimately, he's an Arsenal player now. He's wearing the Arsenal shirt, so as always, he's got my full backing, and I really, really want him to succeed. I want him to do well, especially after all the abuse he's gotten. I just want him to absolutely smash it and hopefully silence a lot of the critics. And to be fair, that brings me on to another point about Madueke. The fact that despite all of the hate and despite all of the nasty comments, he still decided to go ahead with the Arsenal move, in my opinion, just shows how strong he is mentally. There was petitions against him, there were people sending him abuse, all of that, and he could have very easily gone, you know what, this isn't worth it, let me just stay at Chelsea or find a different club. But he's decided to proceed ahead with the transfer, and that's something that I respect massively, and has made me really, really like Noni Madueke. The fact that despite all of that, he still decided to proceed, he still wants to play for Arsenal, he still wants to wear the badge, absolutely nothing but respect. And I really, really hope that the Emirates Stadium will give him a warm welcome, because he deserves to be here. Not only that, but he didn't even go to the Club World Cup final, which, he could have gone to. He really wanted to just complete his move to Arsenal, so he's got my full respect. And this whole point is definitely another point why I really like Noni Madueke, is because of his fantastic mentality. As I've already said, despite all of the abuse, despite all the awful things that have happened, he still decided to proceed ahead with the Arsenal move, and he still wants to represent Arsenal, and that is the sort of mentality that we absolutely love at the club. Of course, it's a huge shame that we've had to see it through obviously such unfortunate circumstances, people being abusive, but it's definitely a positive of Noni Madueke, his mentality. He's definitely got a very good, very strong mentality, and I think that's something that's really going to help us at Arsenal. So all in all, I am really pleased with the signing. I think it's a solid signing from the perspective of the player. Now, as I did say before, I do have to criticize Arsenal a little bit for the price. I do think that Arsenal definitely did overpay, I can't lie. Nothing against Madueke, but I do have to be honest, £48 million up front with £4 million in add-ons is quite a lot. 52 million. Don't get me wrong, I understand that the likes of Elanga and Morgan Gibbs-White, etc. have been going for more than that, and I do get that. However, that doesn't change the fact that it is still a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, it's not that big of a deal, because end of the day, my priority is how good is the player compared to how much are we paying. But it's something I did want to mention. I don't want to lie to you guys and just always be positive 100% of the time, because I do have to say I do think that Arsenal overpaid. However, that being said, this is honestly the only deal that we've overpaid in. I think the Kepa deal was great, the Norgard deal, the Mosquera deal, which got Here We Go literally I think yesterday or today or something, that was absolutely phenomenal. The Victor Gyökeres deal has been solid. So to be fair, it's not too much of a criticism, because end of the day, every other deal in my opinion has been a great deal. This is the only one where I'd argue that Arsenal overpaid a bit. But again, I just want to mention it's nothing against Noni Madueke himself. Ultimately, Noni Madueke is not at fault for the price. Arsenal willingly put a bid in. That's the one thing we really need to remember. Arsenal themselves are the ones who decided to bid that much for Noni Madueke, not Noni Madueke himself. So, I may be criticizing Arsenal themselves for overpaying, but that's nothing against Noni Madueke, and I'm honestly really excited to see him playing for Arsenal next season, and I really, really hope he succeeds. So, welcome to the Arsenal, Noni Madueke. It's great to have you, and I'm just really, really hoping that he smashes it. So hopefully to anybody who's been against the signing, hopefully now that he's wearing the Arsenal shirt, you can back him. I understand you may not like the price, and maybe you may not like Noni as a player. However, ultimately speaking, he is an Arsenal player now. There's no more questions about it. He is an Arsenal player. He's fully passed his medical. The announcements happened, so we have to just get behind Noni Madueke now. A really, really good signing from Arsenal from the perspective of the player. Maybe a lot of money, and I definitely do think Arsenal overpaid. However, this is in my opinion the only deal that Arsenal have overpaid in. I think all the other ones they've smashed it. Kepa, Norgard, Mosquera, Gyökeres, and Zubimendi, I think they've smashed it in all those deals in terms of the financials. So one single deal which you could argue they overpaid compared to 5 others which were good. I think that's honestly fine. No worries there. But anyway, I feel like I've gone on quite a bit here. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening. Loads of videos to come on the channel this week. Obviously, we're awaiting the Mosquera announcement. We're awaiting the Christian Mosquera announcement. We're awaiting the Victor Gyökeres announcement, where obviously there's Usyk Dubois this week, which I'll be doing a prediction and reaction. So loads of videos to come up on the channel. We've obviously got the Noni Madueke video today. We've got the Victor Gyökeres announcement coming. We've got the Christian Mosquera announcement coming. We've got obviously Usyk Dubois, both the prediction and reaction. So loads more videos to come on the channel this week. But anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. Have a great day. I really appreciate all of your support. Please let me know down below what you think of the Noni Madueke signing. But to conclude this video, welcome to the Arsenal Noni Madueke. I'm really looking forward to watching him play, and I hope he absolutely smashes it for us. And yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. Have a great day, and I'll catch you guys with another podcast soon. Bye bye.